Hello, this is Yahweasel, and apparently in Radical Dreamers, Magil and Kid are married, which really begs the question, why is Serge here at all? Why is Serge just being a third wheel, just for giggles? Is Serge their child? Like, what's going on? Why is Serge here? Whap! Ugh. Hey, snap out of it, mate. Kid had gone to the trouble of removing one of her high-laced boots and hitting me over the head with it. I awake from my daze, rubbing my head. What? Oh, what the heck? I was only joking around, kid. I don't understand. Was he joking about them being married? What's going on with Magil, Kid asks. I don't really know, but something's been awakened inside of him. Something fierce. I think he sees something in that painting. Maybe Lynx himself. I say, once again, pointing to the bizarre painting as the 50 cc of blood per second routinely flows through my temples. What's with all of the, so this isn't physics, it's gone to medicine, but, all of the precise figures, what is with the writing in this section? That thing, it's just a stupid picture of a desert, she yells, beyond bewildered. At any rate, Magil remains transfixed on the glossy canvas, glowing with that pale blue radiance all around him. Suddenly, something even stranger happens, His right fist explodes into a ball of blue fire. After the flames abate, a strange symbol has emerged on the back of his hand. Two diagonally crossed broadswords with an S shape in the middle, interlocking the blades. I can't picture that. If only this was a visual novel so you could draw that. Kid, Serge, we will no longer have to worry about keys, he says, as the pale blue glow continues to radiate from his body. Were we worrying about keys? Ah, Magil, always good for some quality gobbledygook. What? No! You can't. You can't. You cannot randomly inject emoticons, smileys, into this. That's not okay. The writing... Okay, I took off my glasses in reaction to that, so probably should put those back on in order to actually read the screen. Magil turns and walks towards the entranceway. There, he holds out his hand, and after a few moments, the door starts to burn. Great. I rush over, eager to see what's going on. What I see next amazes me, Nothing but a hole remains in the space where the door handle once was. Easily pushing the rest of the door open, we follow Magil out of the room. Suddenly, a blood-curdling screech cuts through the darkness. Scared stiff at the deafening sound, I look up at, that's okay, great, good time for a griffin, thank you. I don't think I've ever successfully fought a griffin. Starts to flap its wings viciously, conjuring up a tremendous gust of wind. Knocked against a wall. Serge, you okay? Aches from head to toe. Bend down to grab my knife. What am I gonna do now? Ram it! I start sprinting towards the griffin, hoping to bash it with all my weight. It snaps at me as I come in close, wanting nothing less than my head in its beak. It catches only air, however. Trying to break free of that ferocious, visceral gaze, which I shouldn't be able to see. I'm gonna attack! Switching my knife to a backhand grip, which I don't usually keep it in spite of the fact that all I ever use it in is a backhand grip, I swing at the griffin's neck with all my rage. I guess I have it in a parrying position. However, seeing its fate, the griffin desperately recoils, leaving me with nothing but fumbled attack. Then swings at me, eager to defend itself. I dodge, but then accidentally slip and fall to the ground. Basically, the only failure in this battle is Serge continuously slipping on things. I hastily fix my stance, ready for another attack within moments. Okay. Just always attack. This appears to have gotten me into a loop. Yep, this has gotten me into a loop. Don't move, Serge, I hear Kid shout. Suddenly she vaults over my shoulder from behind. Ha! All right, she's landed a powerful jump kick on the side of the Griffin's neck. I've seen this. Its head snaps backwards, letting loose a terrifying howl. Madly rambling about, the Griffin's fiery gaze suddenly zeroes in on me, angrier than ever. What do I got to do now? Ram it again! Ah! The razor-sharp talons tear across my torso, pulling my shirt down over the wound. I try to ignore the pain and regain my focus. Trying to break free of that ferocious visceral... Okay, yep, okay, I appeared... Let me just protect myself. Take a moment to duck out of the action and catch my breath. Serge, get your arse back here. Look up to see Kid squaring off with the beast, landing an uppercut directly into the base of its right wing. Her blow was well placed, adding injury to an already open wound the Griffin had suffered. Reels backwards, screeching in pain. It's now or never, I tell myself. I sneak up on the Griffin from behind, trying to stay within its blind spot. Then all of a sudden, the Griffin snaps around, billowing its scalding breath down on me. What am I gonna do now? Hit the deck! Before I realize what's going on, the Griffin snaps at me with its huge beak. Ah! The Griffin bores a huge crevice into my shoulder. I'm doing a bad job. Attack! The Griffin writhes in pain as blood starts trickling down its neck. All right, a weak spot. The Griffin starts to slowly move on me one step at a time, but then suddenly it stops. With a blank look in its eyes, it stumbles a bit, then comes crashing to the ground with a huge thud. Great. That was a total mess. You're getting there, mate. Ready for what's next. Am I? Because I seem to have really lost there. Okay, so I'm definitely on a different path, but I don't really know what to do next, so I'm thinking of just follow the left wall, which which is towards the terrace. Yes, right now. Can we enter the treasure room in this version of reality? Magil steps towards the door with his burning hand extended. The instant his glowing blue palm touches the door, the lock simply disappears. Didn't even know there was a lock. Whoa, Magil, why didn't you ever use that hand of yours before? If you know what I mean. Kid purses her lips, slipping silently into the treasure vault. The hole left by Magil's new magic is perfectly round, with smooth edges, almost as though it had been cut with an incredibly sharp blade. Also, there doesn't seem to be a single scrap of wood left on the floor. Even I don't know where the scraps go, he says from beside me as I enter through the doorway. So he can read my mind, also, just as an aside. Okay, it is this treasure room. Taking our first few steps inside, Kid whistles out loud in admiration. Cripes, look at this loot. I'm taken aback as well, despite the fact that this room smells like insecticide that's been kept alone in a drawer for years and years. So that's a different description, definitely. Faintly visible in the dim light, a mountain of gold and silver treasure, countless works of fine art, and other shimmering artifacts fill the spacious room. Magil walks around, amazed at the items scattered about the room. Oddly enough, he starts to go crazy over some more of the eclectic, less valuable-looking items. Ah, statue of the hero Kafol from the planet Tarust. Okay, there are multiple planets. A stuffed Dormophos from Saturn, so this is set in the real world, or the real universe. A Triffid worm plant from Greylands. Krendathu royal jelly and a Life Maker inscribed plate. The Apostle's Crystal. And what's that over there? Could it really be a genuine Swiss Army knife embedded with Zora's blue stone? Imported from Switzerland Earth? I had no idea he knew about all this kind of stuff. I had no idea there was anybody out there who knew about the junk like this so much. Hey, looking at what we have here, Kid says, walking over to an old movie camera. What time period are we set in here? Also, you know, there's the frozen flame there. Are we just ignoring that? Feeling a bit camera-friendly, she stretches out across the treasure, posing with a somewhat awkward smile for the camera. The teleprompter's not in order, mutters Magil, abandoning the clunky machine he'd been checking out. Suddenly, there's a noise over in the far corner. I look over, seeing one of the items suddenly being knocked over. None of us are anywhere near it, though. I unsheathe my knife as Kid and I exchange glances. She goes to check it out, taking careful, quiet steps. Just a rat. Aw, hell, it's just the assistant director, she says. You bumbling crew, always... Has this turned into a movie? The assistant director tries to explain, but is cut off by Kid. You're gonna make me screw up my lines, Kid continues. And besides, can't you see we're right in the middle of a great find here? And get me an Evian, for crying out loud. But then something catches my eyes. Over in the back of the room, behind the Clare Bible and Idionite that the assistant director had knocked over, a shimmering red light streaks out, barely visible behind the items. Frozen flame. On an intricate pedestal sits a magnificent scarlet crystal, but it doesn't matter because all of this is a scene in a movie. It's so perfectly radiant it seems as though it's unreal, like a product of polygon technology. Okay, it slowly rotates on the pedestal, beckoning us. Halt, it may be dangerous. Magil extends his faintly glowing hand. Now it's faintly glowing. Every time he uses it, it glows a little bit less. Out towards Kid, yanking her hand back just as she's about to grab the fabled item. Easy, Magil. Remember what that hand of yours can do. If you know what I mean. But then the scarlet jewel suddenly vanishes into thin air. We stare at each other, confused. Magil approaches the pedestal a few moments later, using his hand to burn a hole in the top of the platform. We peer down inside it. There, among an array of mechanical equipment, we see a circuit controlling the revolving pedestal and another controlling a red light of some sort, flickering on and off. Ah, a hologram. A fake, just as I expected, Magil says, looking around by the back of the pedestal. Here's the cord, he says, following along its path. It should lead us to a wall socket! Aha, he says, stopping at the wall where the cord goes into. There, we find nothing but the stagehand fumbling around with the power outlets. The short oriental man looks up at us with a worried look on his face. You worthless piece of garbage, Kid yells, shaking the stagehand by the neck. What did you do with the real frozen flame? Come on, Kid, I say. He wouldn't know anything about anything that important. He was probably just trying to fix the lighting in here and tripped over... What is happening? Like, what's actually occurring here? We seem to still be on a quest for the frozen flame, but I guess we just wandered into a movie set and either are pretending to be part of the movie or always were part of the movie. Kid reluctantly releases her grip from the stagehand's neck, who gives a nervous, apologetic smile to us all before quickly scampering away. And get me an Evian already, she yells as she scurries out of sight. Was Evian, the particular brand of bottled water, actually available when this game was created? I feel like this predates that brand. Actually, we can check. We can definitely check. We're gonna actually check that. Okay, Evian was very much a real brand at that point, as actually Evian seems to have been the first brand of bottled water. Period, possibly. The real flame's gotta be around here somewhere. I have a feeling the real flame will not be stored in such an easily obtainable place, Kid. We should search elsewhere. You know, like a movie set. Aye. We say goodbye to the treasure vault for now, resuming our search. Yeah, Strixus in chat points out, by several hundred years. Yeah, like it's 1800s, this brand existed in some sense. Okay, well, we were... Right. We were just following the left wall, so let's continue following the left wall. With Kid in lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly trip, blah, 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 blah. Top of the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread. Well, what could possibly go wrong? Okay, there is a faint voice in this reality. I mean, in this reality, Magil has the power to break through any lock, so even if we get locked in, he should just be like, blah, and we're out. It's a small room, one you'd find in a stone tower. It's empty and I can't find a single window in it. Well, we can't die here, given that this is all a movie. This is all the same. This is all the same. Something about sword proof. Well, it was actually different. Yeah, that was different. Oops. I should have really left that because that third line was new, but it was about the sword, the proof. Yep, that's been released. Great. Try to ram the door. Why would we ram the door, given that, Magil can just zap the door? Whatever. Okay, we're gonna ram it anyway. Great, that worked. We broke the hinge, and yet the door opened normally. Oh, this is very different. This is very different. I start to look around a bit, peering in under some of the covered items, but then all of a sudden, what's that? What's going on? I didn't do anything. Tension rises, a low rumbling sound starts to echo from throughout the room. The light in the room is also dimmed rather suddenly. The kid looks around the room with newfound interest. I feel it too. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Follow my ears over to the far wall. Seems to be coming from that direction. Kid approaches the dark, dusty rear half of the room with slow, cautious steps, attracted by the suspiciousness. Well, I guess that's a valid sentence. The wall is covered with a large cloth. Whatever's making the noise seems to be coming from there. Kid and I look at each other. I hesitantly grip my knife as she gives the cloth a tug. Wow. Hello! A vast collection of twinkling lights, those look like vacuum tubes, are lined up in an orderly fashion across the entire wall. Never seen anything like this before. There's hardly any light in the room, nor does the moon's light shine in on us here, but somehow these lights twinkle and sparkle on their own, as if they contain a spark of fire within each of them. So we're in a world, again, that has movie cameras but not light bulbs. The hum we heard earlier, like that of a firefly buzzing around, seems to be coming from everywhere on this wall. Movie cameras, but no electronics! Speaking of fireflies, that's very much how it all looks as well, hyphen. Endless amounts of bright greens, reds, and blues twinkle and sparkle in the assortment of panels before us. I see a lot of yellow, too. Metal components of some kind seem to be integrated into the ceiling and floor. What can all this be used for? Lynx, what has he been up to all this time? He's invented computers! Strange paintings and now strange flickering walls, hidden completely out of sight. The atmosphere in here, I suddenly realize, feels strangely similar to when we were standing in front of the painting. Maybe it's Magil. His radiance has returned to a bright... Oh, okay. His glowing fist has returned to a bright blue glow. Looking over at him, he looks as though he never left that room. He stands there, examining the wall with his lips pursed and a bead of sweat rolling down his cheek. I can say words. Hey, mate, come check this out. Turn my head over towards the far corner where Kid was investigating. It seems she's uncovered something more. Looks like some sort of huge box. It would probably be taller than Magil if it wasn't tipped on its side. Has a set of doors which open freely on its front face, which contains strange, colorful mechanics inside. Isn't this about the usual size of a box that a fridge comes in? The Anachronism. Well, I guess fridges aren't that. I mean, fridges are older, but they didn't come in boxes. You know, they only came in boxes once it was sort of normal to ship things in across large nations. Kid, let's think for a minute, Magil says. How could this be a refrigerator box if it... I don't need my glasses to read this. They're not helping. How could that be a refrigerator box if refrigerators haven't even been invented yet? Computers have. Good call, Magil. Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, looks an awful lot like a non-electric refrigerator box thing. Magil and I glance at each other. Magil blinks. Ah, hell, what does it matter what I call it? It's got nothing to do with the frozen flame, she yells, kicking the box. Suddenly the box starts to rumble. Lights begin to shine and shimmer all over, letting out strange noises. That was a strange noise. Lets out a wild shrill as two flaps open up on both sides of the box. Shrill isn't usually a noun. There, large legs sprout out. This thing, whatever it is, towers above us as it rises to its feet. Then, Popple in chat says this whole thing is a crappy LARP. Very true. Live-action roleplay, that is. Then two more flaps open out, where two strong and sturdy arms begin to grow outwards just as the legs did. Finally, a round dome rises above the top, complete with two wide eyes, a gaping mouth, and rotating arc-shaped antenna. You know what would be even better than describing this? If you showed it to us with pictures. Frightened for my life, I ready my weapon against the huge monstrosity before me. Kid, on the other hand, can't seem to stop laughing. Apparently that's her voice now. Yeah, it does look kind of clunky. Maybe even a bit funny looking, but still. Uh-oh, I think we rubbed it the wrong way. It looks down on us with a frustrated smirk on its face. In the center of its torso, the two original flaps slowly open, revealing a complex network of psychedelic-colored gears, chains, and a pair of huge Gatling guns! If you could, show us any of this, we dive for cover behind some of the covered items just as it opens fire. Reload. Kid can't seem to help continuing to laugh and taunt the thing as we scurry from place to place. However, suddenly a clear voice echoes out over the chaos. Kid, Serge, hide quickly. I will deactivate it. Upon hearing Magil behind it, the thing starts to whip around. Great Devil of Mars, I come for you. In a flash, Magil has leapt into the air, dashing with full force towards the non-fridge thing. He shoots downwards, landing a direct kick on the back of its head. It teeters for a moment as Magil lands safely away from it. Then miraculously, it falls lifelessly to the floor before us as pieces of its beaten body fly out in all directions. Its battery box, 2 AA's sold separately, tumbles away, stopping inches from my feet. Magil stands there, a glowing champion, burning with a blue radiance like never before. This is another route where Magil turns Serge. Are you two all right? He asks us. My belly hurts, but yeah, Kid answers, still unable to stop laughing. I silently nod to Magil. Looking over the junked remains, Kid seems to have found something of interest. She reaches out and takes some sort of white object, quickly stashing it down her bosom. Hey Kid, what's that? Nothing. Mind your own business, Serge. Let us search elsewhere. There are many clues left to be discovered, Magil says with a cocked eyebrow, before heading to the door. Thinking back on all this, Magil's been getting stronger and stronger lately. What did he call that thing? A great deva of Mars, or possibly diva, but not spelled in the usual way. And how could he have known where its weak spot was? What kind of background does a guy need to have in order to know about stuff like that? I always knew he was strange, but I'm finding out now just how strange he really is. In any case, I'm glad to have him on our side. That thing would have made mincemeat out of us if he hadn't been there. I follow the gallant, luminescent figure of Magil out of the room. Great. Okay, next time. Until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, join us on Discord at yahweasel.com/Discord. Cheers from Yahweasel.